Weekly. I want to thank Cheryl Roseanne. And I also want to introduce to you the person who
laughter and mirth. I want to walk barefoot in the hills of the Homeland and stare at sunsets with people who know sunrise isn't guaranteed.
This is Malcolm X.
In a place
what
where
did Malcolm X do?
The news speaks of tides, the waiting moon, and rainforests wild as Oyas dance. In a place where shoes.
He helped black people be free. Adults, is that what Malcolm did?
Dahlias and pearls.
Adults, is that what Malcolm did? Y'all just these your children talking here. Little girl, what did Malcolm do? Yes.
Silence experience and conversation.
Here we go. First we start with the pat. You can do anything kind of thing y'all want to do with that, right? Keep that clap. Then the song goes. Little girl, little boy with the cornrowed hair. Slow it down a little bit. Here we go. Little girl, little boy with the cornrowed hair. Tell me what you're gonna do. Tell me what you're gonna wear. Little boy with the cornrow style. Let me see your pretty face. Let me see your handsome smile. And then you do cornrows. Come on, Roy to the brothers. Brothers, you surely know how to do cornrows. Come on.
The sight of me strolling barefoot into my own life without thieves and tyrants trying to be a walking billboard for designers who'd rather see their clothes unsold on here. Anthems to our appearances. Your polo headband is fitting too tight, grabbing all the brand names in sight, talking about sitting out a semester or getting evicted because you don't have no loot. The rent is dangling from your elbows, hanging off your ass. Somewhere between weaves, acrylic nails, Tommy Hilfiger, and the Nautica sale are over $40 billion slipping through the cracks. And I got somebody else's name branded on my back. Tommy's great-grandfather owned your family. Now Tommy owns you too. You should be tired of being branded, and you thought slavery was through. Thank you. That's in the QBR. Thank you very much. You do whatever you feel comfortable doing.
Gwen Forster, Gwynne-Forster. Don't forget to pick it up because you have a very good read, an intelligent read, a read that's extremely entertaining. I'll keep you up until 4:30 in the morning when you have to go to work the next day, and a read that will uplift you. It's not a goody-goody. I don't write goody-goody books.
The response that we've been able to create around this second event, this is not our response, but a reflection of the importance of the spoken and written word in the African American community. We thank all of our exhibitors for joining us today and making this statement about the importance of the word that carries our lives, our words, our stories, our histories, our pains, our successes. I want to thank our sponsors, Time Warner Trade Publishing, the New York Times, Knopf, Penguin Putnam, European American Bank, and anybody else.
I'd just like to thank everyone for coming out today. This day means so much to us, and all of you have worked just as hard as we have in getting here today. Thank you for all of your kindness and your patience and for your support. The Harlem Book Fair really is a wonderful, wonderful event, and it's an institution that we plan on hoping that it'll stay forever. So thank you very much.
Mr. Dodson, Dr. Dodson, to please take the stage. Can we give him a hand?
Good afternoon, Harlem. Hello, Harlem. I can't hear you. I'm just delighted to be able to welcome you all to 136th Street. That's the street we're on, you know. To welcome you to this part of Harlem and to welcome you to this book fair. You all probably don't realize it, but 150 years ago, if we did this kind of thing, we'd probably be arrested and brought up on 2 charges. The first charge was that we had the audacity to get this many black folk together, which was illegal 150 years ago. And the second would be that we would have the audacity to think we had the right to read. Now, there were, in fact, laws in these United States 150 years ago to declare it illegal for black people to get together and illegal for more than 3 black people to gather in any one place. And second, for black people to learn to read and write. And the fear was that if we got together, we'd probably be trying to organize some kind of subversive activity to overthrow the system of slavery. And if by chance we happened to learn to read and write, we might figure out that we really were not born to be slaves and that we had the right to freedom and justice and human dignity. And so they passed laws to try to keep us from doing that. And thanks to our foremothers and forefathers, our heroes and sheroes, we have been able to take advantage of their subversive activity and build a capacity to learn and to know today. Unfortunately, too many of our people are not taking advantage of it today. And so one of the purposes of this book fair is to refocus attention on the fact that reading and writing and learning and knowing is central to our struggle for freedom and human dignity. And I trust that all of you who are gathered here today will use this opportunity to gather up the facts, the truth, and the entertainment, the kind of stuff that we need to empower us and sustain us as we move forward in the 21st century. I'm pleased to welcome you to Harlem, to welcome you to the Schomburg Center, to welcome you to County Cullen Library, to welcome you to 136th Street, to welcome you to the Harlem Book Fair, and I hope you have a wonderful day. God bless you.
Price for you, $5.
Black people. Others recognize this even though we don't. For instance, the Stones in 1971, they had a hit. And they said, hit, you got to move. They said, you got to move, or you got to new child. When the Lord gets ready, you got to move. Well, that was really, about black people. We have to stop importing this shame as manufactured beyond our community.
You know what's really wrong with black people? Well, you tell us. You tell us. We did it very well.
Well, it's not what I
using the same rap. I'm not talking to you.
Relationship. 20 years ago when I graduated from high school, I graduated with an A in drama, thanks to Leroy Jones, because I did a stirring rendition of Blues for Mr. Charlie. I don't really think I need to say anything about him. What don't we know about him? Mr. Baraka.
Thank you. People always ask me, why our poetry is political. That's our tradition. Fred Douglass, or Harriet Tubman, or Nat Turner's Confessions, or David Walker, or Du Bois, or Richard Wright, or Jimmy Baldwin, or Toni Morrison, or Margaret Walker, Sterling Brown, Langston Hughes. Our literature is revolutionary and democratic. Why? Because we find ourselves here in chains, and we want to use everything, whether it's a guitar, a horn, or we'll tap dance to spell out the word. The word is the word. The word is self-determination and democracy. We opened a place here in 1965, 130th Street, called the Black Arts Repertory Theater School. And what we wanted to do, there's three things. One, we wanted to bring the poetry outside of the libraries, into the street. That's what we did that summer. We wanted to bring it into the playgrounds, on the corners. Two, we wanted a poetry that was identifiably Afro-American, you know, like Billie Holiday or John Coltrane. People used to come up to me and say, Mr. Jones, I didn't even know you was a Negro. Then I would have to go get an enema, you know. And third, we wanted a poetry that was revolutionary. We wanted a Black Panther Party, a Congress of African People. We wanted a Malcolm X, a Martin Luther King poetry. We wanted poetry that would help us win, that would help us achieve self-determination. Now, one thing I want to say this. They said recently that now black people are starting to read. So suddenly we see all kind of like completely bizarre, ridiculous, backward books by Negroes. You find any number of books that say how I escaped Negroes and got out of the ghetto and became, you know, a poet down on the Lower East Side. You got any kind of books like, what was one called? Colored People. You know what I mean? There's one called Fly Boy in the Buttermilk. They've got all kinds of, but what they're trying to do, since they know we're reading books now, they're trying to flood you with the most backward literature there is. But you have to remember this. Don't sit around waiting for somebody to publish you. Publish yourself. You see? Don't wait to get your paintings in a gallery. Open a gallery in your house. Open a gallery in your garage, in your yard. Do not wait for imperialists, the bourgeoisie. And you know you got to beat Bush. You know you got to beat Bush. Anybody ain't registered voters, corny, I'll tell you that. You know what I mean? Remember, we smoked Bush 1 and the national debt got high. You smoke Bush 2, your Social Security, you gotta kiss that goodbye. But we have to vote. You have to vote. Now, I know a lot of y'all will be revolutionaries. Y'all ready to blow up, what is they ready to blow up, Mr. Dodson? The Pentagon. You ready to blow up all these Air Force and Army? But why don't you register and vote and get some power? Because like Mark said, inch by inch, moment by moment. And to people who have this thing about, well, you know, Baraka's a red. That means I'm black and I'm red. A lot of times I'm blue. Well, Du Bois was a red. Robeson was a red. I don't step back from that. If you think you hipper than Paul Robeson, well, right on. If you think you hipper than W.B. Du Bois, well, right on. It was Du Bois who first opened my eyes when he said, a lot of people suffered as badly as black people back in the 19th century. In Europe, in Asia, in Latin America. He said, a lot of them suffered as badly as we, but he said, but none of them was real estate. So it's not the oppression, it's the fact of not having self-determination, not having democracy, of being a thing, of being an object, of being real estate. And a lot of these Negroes that we elected to office, you need to replace them. They're smarter, faster, stronger people right here in the audience. We need a political machine, a national machine, a united front. Am I talking about literature or am I talking about politics? We need a united front. We need a revolutionary, democratic united front. We need a strategic alliance of working people of all nationalities and the middle class that you can trust, and farmers and oppressed nationalities. We need that. So finally we can talk about majority rule. I ain't talking about majority of race, but the majority of class. There is $470 billion a year in black people's hands. Right. Our gross national product is larger than India, larger than Argentina, larger than Switzerland. Black people make $470 billion a year. There are 40 million of us, more than most of the nations in the United Nations. Yet we be walking around talking about we poor. What's poor is your self-concept. What's poor is your understanding of how to network and organize. And what is the culture to do? The culture is to teach revolution, to teach transformation. And if you don't have a culture revolution, like Mao Zedong said, even if you take power with a gun, they will take it back. A lot of things we run into now, we thought we had ended in the 60s. We thought we had gotten rid of in the 50s, but it came back. Why? Because we did not keep cultural organizations, arts organizations. When these people be talking about, what is it, the bell curve? We could beat them to death by the weekend if we had one national publication. We could Billie Holiday them to death and John Coltrane to death and Ray Charles them to death by the weekend. So you artists, you writers, you intellectuals, begin to network and organize yourself. Organize united fronts. I'm going to end with this poem because I'm in New York and you poor, pitiful people had Dinkins, but some of you super revolutionaries gave him up for Giuliani. A lot of people had black mayors, they gave them up, but see in Newark, we poor, but we not stupid. We done had Negroes running our life, as painful as that might sound, for 30 years. And people say, well, Bush and Gore are the same people. No, they're not the same now. Bush is a serial killer. Gore is a prostitute. So now we are caught between a murderer and a whore. That's a bad place to be, but that's where we at. You understand? So you might have some use for that hoe, I don't know what. But you can ask my man Sankofa about that serial killer. 135 people killed. 135 people killed in Texas, more than the rest of the United States. Hey, but this is for his man. It's called, what is it called? It's called a, let me open it up and see. It's called A Modest Proposal for Giuliani's Disposal. In 41 verses, which are also 41 curses. Gather all the people Giuliani has hurt. They should slap him 41 times with 41 sticks, 41 bats on his bald head or across his hat. Let 41 wolves attack him and a poison snake wrap him 41 coils around his neck. Then let these animals bite and infect him until he shows human he respects them. Run him over with a police car 41 times. Let the people he framed choke him and put him in a box covered with lime. But don't nobody kill him. Keep him alive. Every morning at 4 a.m., wake him up and start again. 41 blood tests, 41 needles, 41 pills, 41 enemas, 41 baths, 41 questions on 41 pads asked by 41 psychopaths. Have Rikers inmates beat him with hammers for 41 minutes. Or 41 hammers in the hands of 41 innocents. Let them each beat him on each of his two faces, 41 whacks in 41 places. Then each of the 41 set fire to his hair. Let it burn until it's put out by someone who cares. Drag him in the yard, sock him very hard in 41 locations with brass knuckles or chains. There must be 41 lacerations. Whip him across the nose and the temple too. Won't no brains seep out to slow you down. Just whip him till you're through. Workers of all nationalities should drag him from a Gracie mansion to the Gallows home. Drag him by his feet with his head on the street like the people did El Duce in Rome. First thing every morning, give him 41 kicks, 41 more at noon. Keep him naked until he confesses. Give everything he got to the needy, even his dresses. Choke him, nearly smoke him, but please don't kill him. Keep him alive. Sick people commit suicide to escape the pain, but Giuliani got to experience the whole agony again and again. 41 casts around his ears and snout, 41 bedpans in the mouth. Summon all the AIDS patients, and when he's on his knees, gather around Giuliani and give him the disease. Put his cell on the 41st floor, paint a bloody crown on his door. He can't walk, gotta run all the time instead, always butt naked with a bloody crown on his head. Throw him out the window from the 41st floor of the jail, catch him on a faker's pallet of nails. Let the unemployed kick him with all deliberate speed, and the squeegee brothers squeegee him till he bleed. This punishment can last 41 minutes, 41 more if there's no sign of repentance. Then leave him in the gutter covered with garbage and food that's spoiled. Have him sing 41 verses of Deutschland über alles. Tie his dishonor to a tree in front of City Hall so every one of his victims and family friends can make 41 ass-whipping calls. Every 41 days, 41 different ways. Smash his face in a mirror, throw him through a glass, roll him down the stairs, demand the police suggest other ways to kick his ass. Giuliani needs to be peed on every 41 seconds. By 41 of his victims' friends and Giuliani's own depraved men. Tie him to killer cops, then set them all on fire. But don't let him die, just let him cry. Giuliani must be punctured with 41 shots, the 19 that hit Diallo and the 22 that did not. Get 41 cops' horses to kick him in his head till he pleads and screams for someone to shoot him dead. On the weekends, just before curtain time, let his corporate backers drag him up Broadway with a barbed wire line. Make Giuliani drink acid and flush it with lye. Do it again if he starts to cry. Tie a bomb with a loud timer against Giuliani's ear. Every 41 ticks, it should explode, just enough to terrorize him or blow off his nose. Get 41 loudspeakers and have them repeat. Even most white people hate you for every 41 pieces of the bastard to reach the street. Put him together with 41 tubes of crazy glue, 41 buzzards, stank doo-doo, guarantee he be almost new. Set Giuliani's cell at 41 degrees below zero. Giuliani in a toga like his hero Nero. Lock him in a trunk with 41 vampire bats. Make him eat sandwiches with 41 sliced up rats. Hang this beast from a flagpole upside down from the 41st floor of some building uptown. Commit his ass to an asylum for the criminally insane. Surround him with maniacs and make him explain. Lock him in a hyena cage at Bronx Zoo. Cover him with zoo dirt and elephant doo-doo. Throw this fiend from a speeding cab, but only after it runs up a $41 tab. Drop him in a tank under 41 feet of blood. He must drink it all, chug a lug, so he finally exposes how close he is to Bela Lugosi. Let him sleep outside like the homeless he abused on something nasty and wet with no coat and no shoes. Shove 40 more Negroes like his boy Ennis, money maker, and 40 more like Floyd or Flakia. 41 drops of rat pus in his eyes, send him to the Bronx in his normal disguise. Mayor Murder must be kept in a sewer 41 years while he awaits trial, like he was a prisoner at Rikers Isle. That way he have plenty to eat and drink and enough time to learn to think. He should be sentenced to murder 1, 2, 3, 4, manslaughter, assault, extortion, kidnapping, hit-and-run homicide, fleeing the scene, forgery, B&E, impersonating a human being, vice, narcotics, corruption, fraud, and prostitution, aggravated lewdness, violation of civil rights and grand larceny, confidence and protection rackets, RICO statute on his jacket, serial bias crimes, misuse of the mails, malfeasance, misfeasance, no feasance, and criminal ugliness, sexual perversion, jaywalking, and lying while talking. He served these terms in a pit like the devil in Revelations with no parole consecutively 6,000 years before he free. Addenda, 41 death scene photos of each of his murders in his crib. 41 tattoos on his being. He can't go nowhere without seeing the 41 holes in place of his soul. The following are some of Giuliani's attributes, aliases he is known by. Dog dick pus, ugly wound, saber-toothed gonococcus, Shaitan's underwear, the bad breath of Iblis, the devil's gas, criminal G, Dahmer's successor R, like the child killer M, white death, black death, murder man, death jam, mayor Nazi, chiller, insane killer, Rudy maniac, murder beast, Rudy the Vile, 666, City Hall Hitler, the Iceman, killer Rudy, Rudy Death, Rudy the Ripper, crazy Rudy, doo-doo brain, Giuliani the Sod, Grand Dragon of the Apple, mayor murderer, Rudy Death, El Calde Diablo, Der Rathaus Teufel, Mayor Muerte, serial assassin. A people's organization is offering a huge reward, the happiness of millions, to any person or persons to capture Giuliani, make a citizen's arrest, and bring him in, near dead or badly alive. Additional reward will follow for information leading to the collar of Rudy's Negro pet canary, Stanley Crouch, a dangerous homo locus subsidiary. Adios.
Power to the poets, my brothers and sisters.
Today, July 19th at the Harlem Book Fair 2003. It's great. There's more men this year than there were last year. And the first-time publishers are out here in full force. I'll be out there next year with my book. Thank you. Of course we will.
He's at the Nubian Heritage booth. He will be signing his book over there. Please go buy some books. That's what you guys here for. Buy some books. Don't bring a piece of paper and say, sign this. Buy the book so he can sign it for you. That's what I'm talking about. Also, I have some more announcements. At the Urban Theater, July 17th through August 17th, at the Chaj Shamath Theater on 135.
Make you shiver every time you hear it. A word so filled with passion and conviction that your eyes water just in anticipation of me saying it to you. But until that day comes, it's unfortunately I'm truly blessed that I have such a wonderful and healthy baby. Initially, when we got married, I felt fortunate. Perhaps even consider myself lucky, but I never truly felt blessed. I did not understand.
260 pounds to sit on this chair right here. 260. You the author?
No, this is actually the author, my auntie. Sorry.
You're the author?
Yes, I am.
Oh.
And the book, In the Eyes of Truth, I self-publish. I have my own publishing company, Infinite Possibilities. And
You have your own publishing company? How long have you had your own publishing company?
I started my publishing company in November, and I actually have a second author under my publishing company. Simon Says Dream is the book, second book that's coming out. Definitely look out for me.
Good discounts on the web, and I'm all over the web.
President Bush.
Hi, I'm Carol Taylor, and I think this is the 5th annual book fair in Harlem. And it's really crowded. I guess it's like 2:45. I've been here a couple of hours. It's fantastic. I've met all kinds of people, and they say hi and how are you, and I even saw Jabbar, what's his name? Yeah, and I heard Herb Boyd, and I saw Milton Alamadi. Now Milton Alamadi is a publisher and editor of the Black Star News. You know, the old Marcus Garvey newspaper? And he's got a book out. I'm doing a review of it. It's called Hearts of Darkness. And it is one of the best compilations, explanations of how white writers, especially at the New York Times, have denigrated and downplayed and cast a colorist kind of definition of Africa. And so it is really apropos because you got that squatter, chief thief, eyes too close together, Bush going to our country, to Africa, and doing all kinds of nasty things to the people as he goes like to Goree Island and pushes the people out of the way and cuts their trees down and all that kind of awful dissing kind of behavior, because you know his great white father revisiting Africa or visiting Africa. So Hearts of Darkness does a very scintillating, accurate definition of how people have come to think of Africa as a, quote, dark continent. So I'm doing a book review of it, and so this should be very interesting. I am the nation's first black flight attendant, and it's a really a nice thing. And I put out my Carol Taylor Reader, because people keep asking me, well, when is that autobiography going to be done? I said, when it's done, it's done, but this is an interim kind of publication. All right?
How much is that?